right? So in the early game, Rumble, a champion that even after the repeated nerfs we've seen can still easily get priority in this matchup. Victor into Aurora. Aurora may very well be able to get pushed early, but the moment Victor gets his upgrade, he's immediately going to start getting priority in that lane as well.
Sorry, yes.
But
I'll get something right.
But it's very addictive. I have to be very cautious.
Are you a mono red player?
No.
I only know that because LS used to talk about it. I know that's an aggressive...
I just like to annoy people, so every move that I make is basically determined to wind people up. Now, Grubs have spawned, and it looks like both teams are set on contesting this.
Yeah. You're already dealing with one of them. As we can see, Kaiwing looking for an opportunity. He is itching to press that Zenith Blade button. A couple of those Grubs go over, though, and it looks like CFO going to be able to get all of them.
One smite did come through from Yike, so he ended up stealing one away. So it's a 1-for-1, and it will be an advantage gained overall for CFO. But Vladdy just losing out on these trades. And we talked about this Victor and the range advantage you have, especially once you get that upgraded E. It's just so easy for you to push and poke, and the champion can be extremely oppressive against, especially against a champion like Aurora. So nice control in the early game around these objectives from CFO.
Well, Jinja is still going to be able to get the stun. There's the Impale as well as it pulled out from underneath the turret. Targamas going down to 200 health as the teleports roll in. CFO with, yeah, I don't know about this one, Bloody. He's going to be able to get himself out of there, but slammed into the wall, and first blood going to Doggo. Composition's less. In this one, it feels like it's massive for this early game that is buying CFO so much time, right? The fact that Victor can get so much of his damage down without having to worry about an Aurora, who does benefit so much from being able to layer all of these combos over and over again.
With the Eclipse ready, he's going to have a lot of damage at his disposal. Here comes the flank.
Yeah, he's going to get the flash out as Honkyu just held in position. There is the public execution as Junjia gets 3 in the Impale. Targamas over the wall, but they are outmanned. There's a true shot barrage onto 3 though, and KC are on the wrong side of the map with not a whole lot of health bar to speak of. Yike able to get himself out of there, but Junji is over that wall immediately. Not a lot of damage following after this fight, but he'll still get slammed into the wall, given that sunlight and taken down. And KC just getting tidied up around this map. It was a decent pick to start things off, but I don't think they had much of a plan after that.
I mean, the combo from Junja and Rest was just devastating. Getting a 3-man Impale, keeping them on the red carpet to just chip away at their HP, completely turn the tides in CFO's favor.
Kaiwing looking for even more here as Doggo raining the damage down. There's another kill for this Ezreal. Kaiwing looking to make his way out as now it's Canna's turn to teleport in. Kaiwing should be a sitting duck, but does manage to get the CC. He'll take out the Leona, but now Doggo wanting to chase after the Ambessa here. A lot of damage raining through these Mystic shots. All of them hitting. He's under the turret. He has the barrier, though.
The game is only going to get harder and harder to play as it continues, as the Herald started off by Junja.
Yeah, Junja is becoming a problem as well. You can see that health bar is starting to look very difficult to get through.
Ooh.
As Doggo, taking a big chunk. Canna now looking for his angle off to the side, smacked into the wall. There's the Impale onto 1. As also Vladdy getting that ultimate in there. A lot of damage is Gallist. Killer Instinct into the backline. Junjia takes down Yike though, and he's so tanky. It is absolutely absurd. True shot barrage. But Doggo's so low, he can't actually get into the fight once again. This Flame Spitter just not quite enough.
The remaining members away, but the Herald will still go down in favor of CFO. In terms of the objectives, they have just been dominating throughout this game.
Yeah, and I was looking for the eye. I was going down, checking out the summoner spells and stuff like that. Objectives all over the map. 5 Grubs going over to CFO. And this is the team that's very happy to go late. Press that button.
Certainly will. I mean, I love the confidence that we're seeing from both Kaiwing and Junjia. Like, they're engaged consistently, finding onto the right targets. As you rightly said, in the previous fight, locking down Yike, probably not as optimal at Soul Point.
Yeah, they do have the Shoes of Strength, very strong shoes.
Oh, that they do.
As Junjia looking for that opportunity. On a ward right now is Kaiwing. Gonna get publicly executed. Okay, they dive in, they take her down immediately. Junjia crashing them against the wall. Kana going to be getting himself out of there as now Rest deciding that perhaps that wasn't the teleport angle he was looking for. A cease and desist on top of the Rumble. He flashes out of there, but the double knockup from Targamas is massive. Equalizer just trying to buy them some space, and it's Yike that goes down. CFO, why did that work?
The target focus from KC was off, and Honkyu, and the idea is good, but that Rumble to immediately dissuade them means that Yike is now way too deep, because the rest of his team have kind of fixated on a different target. And as a reminder, this is a really important game for KC, especially given that their games do not get any easier.
Yeah, Kalist, he had full health a little while ago, and Doggo saw to that. Great arcane shift, but he still gets knocked up. Kalist gets into that back line, but the equalizer still just being annoying in this fight. Targamas going to be the first to go down, and Kana, he's going to try and dash his way out, but of course, he's smacked into the wall and taken down. Shut down here for Honkyu as well, whose Victor has just been quietly doing a bajillion damage in so many of these fights. Going to get the GAs. The way I like to break them up, if you've got Rod of Ages, Arakan, and you've got GA Arakan. I see. And this is the GA that we've got. I really want Rod of Ages, man.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I mean, it's a long day still.
That is true. That is true. Happen. And otherwise, you just try and play for neutral. Just try and keep things as even as possible. As we found a pick towards his top side. Rest getting taken down low, but he does, of course, have the Arakan buff. That is going to take one of those recoveries away and does give some money over. But Vladdy, he's real dead. That's actual dead. And so that 1-for-1 is not going to be a 1-for-1 at all.
I'm impressed that every single pick that KC finds, CFO find a way to trade it back.
Yeah.
That consistently throughout this game,
it's
always 1-to-1. Yeah, it's just so quick. They're able to avenge their top laner. And while KC
can they do it again? And do they even have to? Because now it could be Kalist that's in trouble. Public execution just to get Kana out of there. Kalist gonna have to use that cleanse and the flash in order to escape, and I don't think it's gonna be enough. Doggo, arcane shift forward, cheeky auto attack, and that is a dead Kai'Sa. Maybe not necessarily the Rumble as much, but Rest has been playing it exceptionally as, okay, they don't land the solar flare, but there's another two-man impale from Junjia, and look at it, he hasn't even lost health. It is absurd, kind of trying to dash around the fight, but he dashes to the death chamber instead, and yike. He's running the wrong direction, and he's not going to be getting out of this one. Once again, Doggo just hops over, Mystic Shot for the kill, and he's now 5-0-4. He'll have an Infernal Soul in hand. They can take a Baron if they like, but they could also just take 50 gold from a Nexus, I think.
Offer a lot of value.
Yeah. No, I actually think that it's going to get more and more valuable. I also think that coaches, Doggo, free reign here on this bottom side. He'll be able to take an inner turret. That is going to be the last one of them available on the map. Only inhibitors to go down next as Yike.
His front line. He's even saying, go after Honkyu. It's fine. Target him instead of me. He's got the Zhonya's available, level 16. And
my God.
Look at the poke.
Death Ray has never been named more accurately. As, yeah, Kalist going to be going back to the fountain to mend his wounds. First inhibitor to go down. As Rest chasing after Kana. He was the one that was going for the flank angle this time around as Yike makes his way back to his team. But look at this poke. KC just have nothing to offer back. We mentioned that range before, but when you have this kind of range advantage and then just a massive lead, it's just slow, steady destruction of KC's base.
They're just letting the cannon minions do the work for them, and why not? Now Rest brings the minion wave into mid. Another tower is going to fall, and KC, I mean, it feels impossible to win a fight at this point anyway, but they're going to have to try and pull the trigger soon.
Yeah, or it's decide on what to do in game 2. Because one more Nexus turret is left up and available. CFO, what an incredible debut here at First Stand. As Junjia underneath this turret, just going to pull Yike away. Cease and desist comes through. They do manage to take down the Skarner for the first time. That's looking good. But now Doggo is unleashed. The rest of KC, their Nexus is exposed. Kalist needs to go back to the fountain once again as Targamas looking for that engage into that backline. Rest, though, just melts them. He's a walking barbecue, and yeah, he goes down, but so does KC's Nexus.
So again, CFO, their approach is front-to-back team fight. They've got a lot of AoE, a lot of zone control. The great thing about this composition as well is that even if KC is on the objective first, you have a lot of tools to contest that objective again. The ability to create space.
Composition that can sort of
ooh, look at this.
Pass the test of time as Junjia coming actually over the wall from the Dragon. That's a great engage from Kaiwing as Targamas completely off to the side. And now Kalist trying to play some alcove gaming, and unfortunately it is not where he wants to be. Doggo with first blood for the second game in a row. And on release, it did about a bajillion damage. And so if you were the kind of player that would want to go into the middle of a team fight, press all of your buttons and die, she was the best champion ever, which is why I loved her. She was brilliant. We're talking about a champion that's not in the game, though. She was at least banned throughout both of these. We might get her in a game 3 if we make it there. KC looking to try and deliver us towards it.
Already a positive in comparison to game 1.
Precisely. And 3 Void Grubs is absolutely fantastic as well, meaning that you don't even necessarily need to fight for the next round if you don't feel like it. and they can put their focus towards the Dragon that hasn't been taken just yet. As Kaiwing gonna go for another engage. There's the Glacial Prison. Targamas gonna have to flash. Does get the anchor out as Doggo picks it up with a double up. That is gorgeous. Kliss gonna be able to walk out of the way of the bullet time.
Behind. He is close to level 9 though. Here we go.
Yeah, Winter's Wrath.
You can't contest this, Ginger. I don't think you can contest this.
Well, he is walking around. Somewhat in range, actually, but it's going to be Yike that wins the Smite War. Hook going to connect, but Targamas is sort of just 1v1ing against Doggo. Junja right in amongst it now. Is Vladdy trying to get out of there? The flash forward from Junja is crazy, and Targamas finds himself caught out. That's a killing spree for Doggo, as Kana is towards this top side, getting something back for KC. As the flash forward from Honkyu, this young man going nuts against Yike, who's taken so much damage. The threaded volley will finish him off, and Honkyu says, yeah, we have a monopoly on kills this game.
He has the support from Driver, and we're back into the action.
We are right back into it as the Grubs now going to be the focus here. KC already with 3 under their belt, as Driver going to get booped back here by Kana. Should be 4 of them locked down here, as Yike should be able to collect them. There we go. That is Grub number 1. CFO still haven't pulled the trigger just yet, though. Doggo securing 1 of them, so it's maximum 5. And that is going to be what happens. Chains of Corruption come through, but Kaiwing turns it into engage as Driver gets a phenomenal crash, does immediately go down, and it's a double here for Yike. Junja says, no, remember, we're the team that gets all of the kills, as Targamas going to be the first one to be taken down. He also looks for the next, as Kana's put in prison, but not going to quite be enough. The Winter's Wrath unable to catch him, in Doggo, I don't know whether you want to tank 3 turret shots.
In the front to back, sure. There is a scary front line that they have to deal with, but they have the damage in theory to deal with it.
Well, Weaver's Wall coming on through here is now Yike. He is cornered, and everything is about zoning. They knew that he was just dead to rights. 50% dueling this Chemtech Drake. Driver going to move on over is now Kliss. You're not going to be able to interrupt that ulti there as Junja gets over the wall, flashes back immediately as he realizes his mistake, and he will be ripped to shreds by that piercing arrow. CFO maybe bit off a little more they could chew that time around.
The Dragon getting very low. Yike on his way back, but there's no smite here.
Yeah, they do just interrupt the queue, as Driver was pretty optimistic, thinking that his Scion was going to be the deciding factor there. Honkyu going to be getting to work here on the top side of the map, though, as second Dragon in a row here for KC is a big deal. And you can see the fans here at LoL Park agree. This is what we're expecting. It was a bit quiet during game 1.
Favor. Ambitiously drive. Oh, back in the action.
Yeah, crash down there from Kaiwing. Going the wrong direction, though, as Kana might be the one that they're looking for. His health bar is relatively high, but unfortunately he can't move and he has no friends. That's Honkyu taking another kill for himself. 2-0-2 now for the Talia.
It's been happening throughout this series. You can't afford to rest on your laurels. The moment that you're out of position, this team will punish you for it.
Well, Driver going to come on over and get rid of all of these minions. I don't know about that one. Trains off the tracks a little bit here, as Vladdy going to get rid of this turret and now go for the 1v1 that may take 7 years, but I think he might have the damage eventually, unless Driver just gets towards the turret. Doesn't have the unstoppable onslaught, though, as he does get that knock-up. And Honkyu, he gets in there, looking for that threaded volley, as Junja just sets it up for him. Man, what an alley-oop from the jungler. And this is exactly what you said. Kliss giving a bit of a thumbs up here as Doggo wanting to crash this way forward once again. We're getting that zoom in. Here comes the train. Chains of Corruption are going to go wide as Kliss gets that flash to get over the wall. The Glacial Prison going wide there, as well as CFO not going to find the engage they were looking for. And you can see Yike doing a lot of damage there to Honkyu.
15 seconds, Dragon. So yes, their ultimate likely unavailable for this next objective.
Yeah, and look at all this vision that they have now. Like you were saying, like, you put pressure forward so that you can leave vision there as well. And so you can see on the top side, there's a line of wards that CFO have access for. But the Dragon is going to be secured here by CFO.
Distributing the resources evenly, which means that they don't have to... I mean, they've got vision investment on the top side as well, allowing a Driver to push in that top wave.
Lead. Honkyu just put his, he just put his Leandries together, so he does a lot of damage, but they look for the Rel, who just says, I'm going to Magnet Storm you, and then even crashes down forward. It was a mistake because he dies, but it's going to be a win here for CFO. That is 3 on the bench for KC. And CFO might just move up towards this Ruinous Archon, grab themselves a bunch of extra levels and all of that fun stuff.
Like, he just threw down the ultimate and tore this opposition apart. That will be our first Ruinous Archon. Of course, not the first one of the tournament, but look at that, all that XP gained as well.
That can work independently. It's not just great multitasking, it's just more of him.
Driver, as he has pretty much done throughout this game, he does not care.
Oh, right. Nice little stun is going to come through, but another Magna Storm comes on down, and Doggo immediately flashing away from the ulti. Kalist not going to be connecting that one, and now they are moving forward. The double ups landing, and Doggo, he does so much damage. Honkyu looking for the seismic shove. Kana going to get that fat flash over the wall. That'll keep him alive. Make It Rain not doing too much there, so KC will be able to limp away, but that could just still mean Baron.
I mean, another failed attempt on the side of KC as CFO just continue to extend their lead. They were already in a commanding position, and this really well looked to put the final nail in the coffin. Yesterday, it was a 2-1 victory for TL, but CFO looking to make this a quick 2-0. Yeah, KC think they have multiple damage.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
This is side lane Sion. And like, I know you're pretty good at understanding what Sion does in a side lane, but this is, look, he's at the inner turret, and that will go down extraordinarily quickly. I don't know, man. This is looking rough. KC, can they find the heroic engage to make something happen? Some poke damage onto Kaiwing. That's a good start, but look at this. The Weaver's Wall set players, they just push Targamas into the wall. He's forced to flash to get himself out of there. Kalist's going to have to blow that cleanse to get out of prison. Vladdy on the top side of the map is going to make it a trade in turrets. But they dove mid lane as well, and so it's a trade up here for CFO.
Even though they don't get all the early game objectives, they keep winning out on the fights, and now they find themselves securing the first tier 3 tower of the game. They've set their sights on the inhibitor, and what options do KC really have? Because if they try to go for the 5v5, I think the CFO's front to back is just stronger once again.
Yeah, this is the problem with falling behind against a composition that has 2 tanks, right? I mentioned the fact that there might be damage issues. The damage, it's harder to execute because you still have to be very careful.
Oh, yeah.
If you throw your life away, things can really become a problem. It's not really the case here. That's, I think, why you say that this is far more of a simple composition. It's not even necessarily that it's simple, it's that it's very forgiving.
100%.
As we get deeper into First Stand, because I've heard some pretty big talk about Honkyu and what he has. Is now Kalist in trouble once again, and just picked off and destroyed. Another gorgeous shove there from Honkyu, the man we were just talking about. And I think he might have heard us. He says, oh, you mean me? Let me just grab another couple of kills. 4-0-6 now for the Taliyah. They'll take down the last remaining inner turret. They're going to look for another inhibitor. Baron or no Baron, they are going to break another section of this base, and KC just left scratching their heads at this point in the series. It's been a whirlwind, and CFO have just left them in the dust.
CFO have made it look easy. A convincing game too, with very few windows of opportunity. 11, the scoreline for him.
And Vladdy going to be able to stop Doggo, but look at all of these engages as stopped. Vladdy does manage to get a decent ulti and gets himself out of there, but Yike could pay the price. The AoE is going to be there, but when there's no follow-up, it does not matter, and they trickle in one after the other, but CFO stay as a unit to defend their damage dealer. This might be a little bit of an overstep as Honkyu just goes golden, and Driver is going to do exactly as his name dictates. They take a blast cone. That is going to break up the fight a little bit, and a Weaver's Wall, speaking of breaking things up, actually might be able to create some space here. But CFO, I don't, like, the health bars are low, guys. I understand your confidence.
CFO was trying to go back to base. They were trying to show them a mercy. Kana, at the very least, will get a pick.
Yeah. Shock Blast is going to be able to lock down Honkyu. Going to die for the first time. Also gets rid of some pages in that book. And now, Junji, I don't know about that flash, as, yeah, the train is going to be able to tidy up some of them. Doggo with the bullet time gets flashed out of there by Targamas, as once again over the wall goes Vladdy. And CFO, just go back home. Let's spend some of that gold. Let's calm down a little. Going to be the one that goes away first, though. As you can see, not a whole lot of avenues in for this one. There's Kana, not going to be able to stop it. So the Purple Worm delivered towards CFO. And now one inhibitor lies between them and the enemy Nexus. As Targamas thinking about going for heroic engage. Junjo able to get out of the way. The Chains of Corruption. That's some buttons on cooldown now. As the Glacial Prison, it'll ring true. Doggo has to cancel his ulti early, but these autos are doing so much. And Honkyu from over the wall finds another flick. Driver, I don't know about that one, but he gets a big old shield. Let's see whether he is going to go down. Does eventually go into that passive, but honestly, it works out just the way CFO wanted. And they're looking at a 2-0 in their debut match here at First Stand. What an incredible performance from this team.
Absolutely incredible. Convincing, coordinated, and well executed from start to finish. CFO looking strong in their first best of 3.
Yep, taking down the Nexus now as Targamas just looks to try and escape. And unfortunately, that is not going to escape the end of this game. Honkyu does the honors. The youngest player of the tournament will be able to grab that 50 gold for taking down the Nexus.
And Aurora, I think, is going to struggle in this game. I think range is one of the problems that she as a champion has. And I think that after the repeatedness, like we were talking about, I think she's a great counter pick. But when you pick a blind into a Tristana, you're going to get pushed in.
Just wash it off.
Yeah, wash it off. And, I mean, Team Liquid, they... Oh. Hang on a minute. Oh, who's catching who?
Yeah, it's the sandwich. The audacious charge comes in from Umpty. He is about to get stunned up, though, and Umpty might just start this game off dead. The heal does come on through. Yon, immediate cleanse. That's Captain Jack-esque. You love to see it, but you don't love to see the amount of top esports players chasing down TL, and APA is going to be the one that bites the dust. First blood to his lane opponent as well.
Look at Umpty. Yeah. We talked about it. The level 2 is going to come through very soon.
And Cleanse doesn't do anything against any of these. Double knockup comes through from Core. He will get stunned up, but Jackie Love is in so much trouble. Umpty just a bit body block, but it does not matter. He puts that spear to Jackie and takes him down, and so that is halfway to the goal.
So they're cautious of the fact that Dragon may have been started up.
Ooh, the fake back scenario.
His way in.
APA is just going to rocket jump. He will be okay. And now Jackie Love in trouble once again. We mentioned the flash cooldown. It is barely up and available. And yep, the door has to wear off. And that is another kill. And that is mission accomplished, ladies and gentlemen. Mission wants to work as well, right? It is the just go in over and over again. But when you factor in the Galio on top of it, like the amount of knockups is going to be absolutely absurd. The bouncy castle that TL have available to themselves, once we get to the mid and late game, it's going to be a big deal. It's just about getting yourself into a position where you can utilize it, because TES, this can be really explosive. If they get a few kills in a row, the game can just not even really be there. Decided to keep his position unknown. I don't know how unknown it is. He decides to go in on Jackie Love, who does flash away. The rest of TL looking to make their way over as the Crescent Guard not necessarily keeping him as alive as he wants to. But Yon finds a beautiful ultimate. Umpty also flashing away Cream right in amongst it. And unfortunately, the door doesn't go multiple directions. Cream manages to take the first kill. And TL, he didn't kill one of them. Just one of them. These health bars are so low as Cord dives forward. APA flashing out of the way. Wind becomes lightning, but doesn't become anything else. And the Dragon is also a problem. The arrow gonna connect. It is soaked there by Core. JJ Dragon, leave it alone, buddy.
Yeah. Whose alliance it should really form. And then at the end of the day,
6 grubs as well.
It's poor Jackie Love though, 0-3.
Yeah.
Really has been bullied this
I was joking
game.
when I said that the goal is to kill Jackie Love more than one time.
Spawn hurt you. He took that personally,
It
man.
seems to be that, like, I mean, he succeeded. They're also looking for Cream. True shot barrage, not enough. As Cream is pushed away.
Position to contest the Herald. APA in a bit of danger.
All right, Chris moves on forward. There's an ulti, and APA should just be dead, but Cream tanking this turret, and he gets the heal from Chris, and he's going to be A-okay. Minions there at the ready as well, so not needing to worry about this one. And that could just be this outer turret being taken down as well.
I mean, Cream is getting monstrous at this point.
Yeah.
He is doing a really good job on the side lane. I love his coordination with Crisp as well. They really locked up APA Harry from this position. I feel like I'll have pretty compelling evidence.
Yeah, and if not, you've seen what a good Aurora is supposed to look like.
100%.
And Crisp, he's going to get knocked up. He is a man with a door and not very many friends in this area. And so he will get stunned up. Arrow going to connect there as well, as the Crescent Guard is used interestingly. Meanwhile, teleport comes in from Cream, and the heroic entrance to try and save the jungler of TL. This is a little bit of a nightmare as Crisp has the door, but Impact just says, get the heck out of here. Rains down that punch with the passive, still finds himself in no man's land, and will be shut down. A 2 for 2, and then if anyone gets any spare time with any turret ever, it's just more gold going their way. And you can see Top Esports going to be moving to about a 3,000 gold lead.
Rotating down while 369 continues to push up. APA grouping with the team as well.
Ooh, a little bit of an engagement here as Cream completely pushed away. APA finding an ultimate that he was looking for as Cream's all over the place. Meanwhile, though, Umpty taking a lot of damage. Impact as well, not as tanky as he otherwise wants to be.
It's just more of a warning punch.
Oh, Yon, that's not where he wants to be. The flash does come on through. He cleanses to avoid the slow, and it's heroic from Umpty, but he's still done the equalizer to pick off the 80 carry. And it was only a matter of time. The delay as TS used all those resources to take down TL.
And just as we say it, Team Liquid, it was a dangerous approach. They'd already used so much in the prior fight. Top Esports still had so many resources left. And the moment that Yon oversteps 369, he sees the avenue of attack. He flashes onto the 80 carry of Team Liquid, and that was really what started off the demise of TL.
For both of the solo lanes on TL's side, still a few seconds away for 369, but it doesn't seem to matter too much as he is in this area. And so Cream, he comes down. TL still haven't pulled the trigger just yet. Remember that combo as the quickness does come on down. Jackie Love is targeted, and there's the Galio delivery. They take down the Ashe immediately. 369 still a fair bit of damage, but Cream pushed away. Umpty very low, but he's done his job for now. Able to move his way out, audaciously charging towards Otacon as it's down to 1,000 health. It's ridiculous. They lose their jungle as Impact realizes that Kanavi's here with a smite, and he can do nothing about it. The Otacon is going to be taken. The Otacon is going to be taken. And it looked so good until it was terrible. All right, never mind. Cream going to be taken out. Here is Yon looking for even more. Chris running. Remember, this is only them being sent back to bait. No, never mind. It was the other Otacon that I didn't even think existed as the door runs out at just the wrong time. And 369 throwing these harpoons, but Yon, he is still looking for more. This man is so bloodthirsty, but unable to catch up after the blast cone. Oh, okay. As it does spawn. So that is going to be Dragon number 3, their second. All right.
I mean, the reality is...
Give it to me straight. How bad is it for TL?
It's pretty bad. I wouldn't say that it's unwinnable.
That's 2 items. Not exactly enough for him to be a real threat. Does kind of want to get towards 3. We'll see whether he has enough time to do so as Umpty looking to clear away as much of his jungle as he can, stay as relevant as possible. Spirit Visage is completed as CoreJJ finds a bit of a knock-up onto Kanavi. The Kanavi does not care about that 1 iota. There's now Impact coming in, but he's heroically entrancing onto nothing because CoreJJ's already dead. The Winds of War come down, though. Knock-up onto Cream is decent. APA not auto-attacking, and Yon wasn't quite there yet. And so, unfortunately, it's just not quite enough. Cream able to go golden to avoid the turret taking him down. And now Jackie, he's got his fangs in. The frost shot onto Yon, and there's the last auto. The revenge for the Ashe, as now they're going to take down this inner turret.
And when we get to see the replay, you'll notice how it's just so quick in how they collapse, because they turn their attention onto Core, and then APA can't really join the fight because of the positioning of 369.
Actually, with what happened afterwards, which was the Baron being taken without too much of a contest, as we're having a look at CoreJJ running really quickly, getting a nice little double knock-up. Let's see whether they actually manage to find something good here as Yon. I'm not sure about that arcane shift, just wanting to try and get behind the door as APA, he manages to get a kill. They take down Jackie Love once again, and that was one of their missions. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to keep their Nexus alive as APA, no Buster Shot, no chance. Actually does have the Buster Shot, so never you mind. Able to use that. It's going to buy him a few extra seconds. There you go. Rocket Jump as well. Blast Cone, not even used. Uses it to get rid of Kanavi instead. That's very, very cute. And yeah, he will go down. So it buys a bit of time, you could say. But in the meantime, 369's taking down the inhibitor in the mid lane. Me, from watching this game, is to make it not about Aurora Vi, you just make it about Vi Rumble instead.
Oh yeah.
And that seems to have worked very, very well, as speaking of Aurora, she's going to be in a fair bit of trouble. Looks like Cream is just going to be taken down. The Equalizer going to be stood on. Umpty takes half of his health bar, but now they're going to turn it on to 369 as best they can, and he just gets melted by the Flame Spitter. CoreJJ now running for the hills. Yon is also at about 300 health as APA cannot avoid the gigantic fist of Kanavi. And TL, with just their bottom lane remaining, I don't think they're going to be able to defend as these Nexus turrets go down. The door is given, not even a true shot barrage, able to sail over as a grand entrance coming on through. But TL, I think they know that this one is done and dusted. And I think they're happy that 369 cannot play Rumble again in this series. This guy has looked so good. Top Esports really bouncing back from a difficult day one. Thought maybe this was coming in. So this is something that we saw yesterday, Zeus bringing that one out. Aatrox has found ups and downs so far this season. It's not okay. The bottom side of the map, not feeling very okay.
Also, I love the electrocute pickup on Cream, basically giving you the strong burst rotation in lane. Oh, now the threat of a dive is here.
All right, APA just going to go down. That's first blood. Cream, that trade from earlier, paying off beautifully for TL as they manage to fight back in the bottom lane.
Kanavi, knowing that he's stronger in the 1v1. I mean, what's APA going to do here? Even if he rotates over, his wave's in a bit of an awkward spot. Now the rotation is going to come through. should feel confident to try and fight this.
Yeah, APA, can he manage to snare him? He does get it off. As Cream, he's going to be moving in, finds yet another set of chains, and there it is! Cool guys don't look at explosions. He's walking away while he's picking up the kill. 2-0 now for this Silas. There's CoreJJ moving in. A lot of damage onto Kanavi and APA. He gets himself onto the board. Champion, but Kasante doesn't care.
Pretty much. Ultimately, though, 369 still doing well in the 1v1.
Indeed.
As Grub's secured in an awkward spot.
Despair is indeed it.
The wave's in a good spot for Yon. CoreJJ with level 6. Oh.
All right. There's the spiraling as Cream's in trouble. The Bramble's going to deserve a flash here as Cream is just going to sidestep, and he is A-OK. All right, in comes Kanavi. APA going to get taken down. Cream taking some damage. just cannot close the gap, though, if they get to that point.
There's a win condition,
for
sure. The problem is how neutered will they be prior to reaching that win condition? Because you look at the bottom of your screen, and you see red, 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 red.
It's a lot of red, yeah.
Yeah.
The numbers aren't 3 digits yet, though, so that's good news.
Again, so optimistic.
Yeah, right?
Cast, you know what I mean? Always looking at the bright side.
Well, this may not necessarily be as much as Top Esports are moving down, trying to push them away as the Brambles come out. Nature is grasping. They do manage to get a few as Kanavi just says no, gives them the shield. And in goes Umpty. They still want to find it. Depth charge comes down. Pop Blossom connects onto a couple. Kanavi does go down, but there's the Fate's Call to make sure that CoreJJ is safe. And 369 singled out and destroyed. TL find a beautiful skirmish there as well. Felt like he was pretty dead to rights regardless. Top Esports still going to be able to grab themselves this dragon. They have 6 grubs yet again. I believe that's 12 in the series thus far. In fact, should be able to avoid these infernal chains, and you can see he's able to do so, but the Darkened Blade just kind of makes things unfair as, okay, in they go once again. The double knockups are gorgeous, but the Pop Blossom is set up, and Yon takes so much damage. There's Kanavi, lands the spear, and Umpty just there a little bit too late.
I'll end up falling.
Man, it looked like things were working out, right? The depth charge, getting those double knockups. When you don't have enough damage to take them down, the Pop Blossom really can turn things. Have a 27 gold advantage. Cream not able to find those chains, but only because Yon's able to have the reaction time to get out of the way. 369 gonna get all outed here as the Otacon wall's making things confusing. Let's see whether this solo kill can come on through as the thumbs up as well.
Top Esports composition spikes really hard. It's a scary position for TL to be in because this is where Top Esports can really break the game open.
Well, they're looking for a dive onto 369. And there's the Fate's Call to start it off. Let's see whether they can get enough burst because he could just get a bunch of that back. And you can see, oh man, the Ren does finally, never mind, it's not enough. And 369 stays alive through it all. Finally, the all out, but 369 is still alive. They have to flash for it. And TES, they threw the kitchen sink at 369 and he just said, thank you very much, I'm remodeling my house. I think TL were kind of feeling themselves, hoping to try and keep up that momentum of taking 369 off the map. And now APA, oh dear, I don't think he's getting out of this one. Decent little fear, but that spiraling despair. This one is the scary one. As Kanavi wanted to give this kill over to Cream. Takes a little bit of time, but eventually it is going to be APA on the floor. And that really felt like a back-breaking moment there towards the bottom lane. Now insult added to injury. As Impact just looking to see what he can do here. The all-out does come on down. Pop Blossom coming through. Umpty is going to be here as well. Quite enough.
Yeah. I completely agree with you. Impact with the right idea. Maybe he can get a flash out from Jackie Love. If even a single summoner spell could be enough to provide an opportunity for you to turn the game around. But unfortunately, it ends up just being a trade of ultimates. Cream continues to build his lead in the side lane. 10 kills to 5. It's a 6K gold lead, and we're just cresting the 20-minute mark. They're going to try again.
You do not succeed. Just go for it again. This time it's Umpty and Yon trying to get the work done, but 369 also, he's realized that he wins these, and he absolutely does. That Otacon, it was
like every game,
so
ruinous, 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 like we just can't get away from it.
Well, actually, do you know what it feels like for me? It feels like now that it's just been changed. It's like now we just have a different one. Yeah. Otacon has a, he's Rod of Ages now. Wonder which item he's going to be next time.
Without the context, people Rod of Ages, what do you
I'm looking for Sunfire Cape Otacon. That's going to be a fun one. Just like the burn damage, the aura, that sounds fun.
Impact, I feel like...
A little bit more of a battle. Chains of Corruption, though, Umpty is just dead. APA not able to find too much here as the Pop Blossom on both carries. Yon picks up Core JJ though, and Cream may have overstepped the rend. I don't think it's going to do enough, and Cream wasn't even in range as Yon flashes away trying to keep himself alive, and Crisp, he roots him. There's the piercing arrow. Jackie Love absolutely gorgeously done, and now it is Impact versus the world. The chains connect, the Kingslayer to give back all the health to Creams.
It is a 5-0 in favor of Top Esports.
Now with all of the control in this game, you can see the goal difference powered by AWS here as it's fallen off a bit of a Top Esports cliff. And now possible catch opportunity here, but Umpty realizes no, it's not. 369 turns up. They've got the lesson. Moving underneath the inhibitor turret. But Dragon was taken. Top Esports looking for this turret as well. Chains of Corruption going to split down the middle.
He's really, once again, just been running away with this Pantheon, similar to what we saw in Game 1.
8, 2, and 6.
We thought that 369 was going to be a little bit quieter, considering how separated the top lane felt in terms of the matchup, but then he had a few highlight reels moments of his own.
Sports aren't letting them anywhere near any quadrant of their jungle at all. And Umpty just forced to move back. And inside your fountain, there's just not a whole lot of money to gather, not a whole lot of objectives you can contest. And Kanavi going to throw the Herald through. That is going to be Jackie Love locked down by Core JJ, but unfortunately there is no follow-up, there is no nothing, there is no turret left in this mid lane either. And TL, I mean, they just lose a bunch of health bars and just have to give everything up. These clones being thrown out whenever they want as well just gives Crisp a whole lot of control of this area. But TL with information. And if they give up this Baron, it's likely the end of the game, so you may as well just look for anything you can. Crisp off to the side. This Pop Blossom could be really scary as that's a stolen depth charge thrown towards the Kalista. They try and block 369. It is kind of working beyond. He's actually going to use the passive to get towards him. Piercing arrow not quite long enough. They take down one, but is it going to be enough? And I think the answer, unfortunately, NA fans, is not going to be anything, as Cream is able to clean things up and the rest of TES going to move forward. It's not a clean ace this time around, but that is the only thing he can be happy about, as Yon underneath this inhibitor turret going to get flashed on by Cream. And TS, they can take themselves a Baron, and they could also just choose to end the game.
It looks like they're going to make this series a 2-0, a quick day overall. Atlas as Top Esports get a nice bounce back after their loss yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be Nexus Turret 1 focused, and Top Esports, this is exactly that bounce back that we were looking for, because some people were saying that HLE were looking like they weren't going to be contested. And Top Esports saying, no, we just had a bit of an off day. Looking absolutely fantastic here up against TL, and we'll see whether that rematch does come on through as the Nexus falls.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.